LeBron, what's your decision?
In this fall, man, it's very tough.
In 2010, the biggest free agency move in the history of the league was live on national television, with ESPN providing the platform. Titled The Decision, this was LeBron James exercising his right as a free agent, determining his future as a basketball player, and altering the course of NBA history. So, when he announced that he wanted to take his talents to South Beach, the entire world was shocked. But how exactly did LeBron's The Decision change everything? It all started with how James basically turned the NBA into an arms race.
In this fall, I'm going to take my talents to South Beach and join the Miami Heat.
In truth, the league has always been about player talent coming together in perfect harmony instead of simple teamwork. Most of the time, talent trumps a good system with very good players. We've seen that for decades, with players like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Michael Jordan, and Kobe Bryant winning championships, mostly by leveraging their talent while playing with talented players. But there were also instances when some teams won using their system and relying on chemistry. This includes the Bill Russell Celtics era during the 60s and the Bad Boys Detroit Pistons during the 80s. While those teams were never the most talented, they had good players who worked well together in a great system. But of course, talent was at a premium during the late 2000s and early 2010s when you could only count players considered superstars on one hand. The Boston Celtics changed how people viewed championship teams, putting together a squad composed of Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, and Ray Allen to win the 2008 championship. But even if that trio was called the Big Three, KG was their only legitimate superstar because he was an MVP-level player during his prime. On the other hand, Pierce and Allen were more like really good all-stars who were never close to superstar status. On top of that, all three players were past their prime years when they joined forces. So, while they did indeed win the 2008 championship, they did so not by relying on talent, but by playing incredible basketball together. With the Celtics dominating the Eastern Conference during the late 2000s, not even the best players in the East, such as LeBron James and Dwayne Wade, could make it out of their conference to compete for the championship. James's Cleveland Cavaliers, for instance, led the regular season in 2009 and 2010, only for both teams to fail in their quest for a finals appearance. LeBron was the MVP in both those seasons, but still struggled against some of the other good teams in the East.
Durant, the drive, goes to the basket, lays it in!
And it was mostly because the Cavs, despite playing good basketball during the regular season, didn't have enough star talent for the playoffs. So, in 2010, James tested the free agency market in what turned out to be one of the biggest free agency periods in recent history. Other than James, Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh were also free agents who had the opportunity to listen to other teams. But unknown to the rest of the league, the trio had already planned to play together several years back when they were Team USA teammates. They all took the same contract extension length following the expiry of their rookie contracts, allowing them to become free agents in 2010. When Chris Bosh announced he was going to Miami and that Wade was staying put in a Heat uniform, all eyes were on LeBron. The ball was now on his side of the floor, making people wonder what his next move was. James could have stayed in Cleveland, the closest NBA city to his hometown of Akron, less than an hour away. The Cavs could have given him a bigger contract extension because of his bird rights. And he could have built a legacy with that team had he decided to stay there the entire time to try to win a title for Cleveland. Meanwhile, New York was also an interesting city to play for because it has always been the biggest market in professional sports. With James's name rising through the ranks of professional athletes as one of the most marketable figures in the world, he had plenty of business opportunities in New York. On top of that, the Knicks could have surrounded him with enough talent for a championship run. Then there was Miami. So, with James's decision looming in the corner, ESPN gave him a platform where he would announce his choice in front of the world. It was an hour-long special where, at the end of it, he uttered the words, "I'm taking my talents to South Beach." He had chosen Miami to form a true Big Three with Wade and Bosh. This was arguably the most talented trio the league had seen since Larry Bird, Kevin McHale, and Robert Parrish were dominating the East during the 80s. True enough, the Heat's Big Three succeeded, even if they fell short of LeBron's promise of winning not one, not two, not three, but more than 7 championships. They fell to the Dallas Mavericks in the 2011 finals, only for them to come back in 2012 to beat the Oklahoma City Thunder for the championship. Then, in 2013, Ray Allen's booming three-pointer in Game 6 helped the Heat force 7 games from the Spurs before winning it all to cap off back-to-back title wins for the Heat. James went on to appear in the 2014 NBA Finals, only for the Heat to lose to the Spurs in convincing fashion. 4 years after the day he left Cleveland, he decided to return to the Cavs in 2014, ending his run with the Heat. As short-lived as his Miami run may have been, LeBron's The Decision changed the way the NBA viewed championship teams. The league turned into an arms race, where every team stockpiled talent to form their own versions of the Big Three. Chief among them were the Golden State Warriors, who won championships with a superstar trio composed of Stephen Curry, Kevin Durant, and Klay Thompson, with Draymond Green complementing them. Other teams also tried to do what the Heat did, collecting numerous superstars and putting them together on one squad to try to see if they could win titles for them. We saw this with the Houston Rockets, who failed in making the trio of James Harden, Chris Paul, and Carmelo Anthony work. Meanwhile, the Brooklyn Nets had Durant, James Harden, and Kyrie Irving. The LA Clippers even had Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, James Harden, and Russell Westbrook. Some organizations even prepared ahead of time. There were teams that made crucial trades to dump high-salary players to clear salary caps in time for a big free agency market with superstar names. This was the same strategy the Los Angeles Lakers used in 2018 when they dumped salaries to sign none other than LeBron himself. The Clippers did the same in 2019 when they cleared their cap to sign Kawhi Leonard. Basically, teams were trying to win championships by hastily putting together a trio of stars in the hopes they would immediately find the winning formula. But out of all the teams that attempted to put together their own Big Three, only the Golden State Warriors were ever successful. Then there was the empowerment of players in the free agency market. Before the decision, players did not have as much influence when it came to where they wanted to play. Of course, during their free agency, they are free to sign with any team they want, but the decision changed the way players went about their freedom to choose what team they wanted to play for. The biggest stars were actually putting their teams in tough decisions because they were forcing trades, making it apparent they wanted to excuse their right to play for another team. Meanwhile, players also started colluding with one another, choosing where to play before they even became free agents. This happened in 2019, when it was revealed that Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant had already agreed to play for Brooklyn a year before becoming free agents. Then, the same year, Kawhi Leonard chose to play for the Clippers under the condition that they trade for Paul George. More importantly, the decision changed the way the media saw players and how players interacted with the media. While social media was still at the early stages of its rise during the decision, there were already people reacting negatively to what LeBron did, especially when it came to the manner in which he did it. Since then, social media has become one of the biggest avenues for fans to express their grievances and air their criticisms. Meanwhile, players also saw the rise of social media fan reaction as a way of improving their marketability and visibility to the general public. Gone were the days when superstars needed to be in big markets to gain the exposure they needed to earn more money and improve their public image. With the decision becoming a big platform for the rise of fan and player online presence, some players even started becoming more active online, going as far as actually interacting with fans who praise and criticize them. So, essentially, the decision paved the way for how players and teams go about their business today. Players are now more empowered to decide where they want to go to maximize their presence and earning capabilities. On the other hand, teams realized that maybe stockpiling as much talent as possible could still be the best way for a quick ring. And we could all thank LeBron James for that.